Welcome to Mike's apartment. Today, I am here with Thom, my co-host. How's it going, Thom?
Hello. It's going good. It's going good. We're fighting through some audio issues, but hopefully we've got it all down now. So
It may always be an issue, but we're always going to keep trying, right? All right. Well,
yeah.
today we got everyone's favorite Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. I can honestly, I know how popular it is, and I know how many people have talked about it. I honestly, because I'm such a beer guy, I've never had it. I've heard lots of good things. I've heard it's a very mellow, like if you're going to go in the whiskeys and in bourbons and stuff, it's a very mellow experience, but I've never had it before, to be honest.
Well, I haven't either, but apparently Pitbull likes it because he wrote a song about it.
I mean, well,
Fireball.
that is Pitbull. But all right. Well, so basically, this is Mike's apartment where we are gonna sit here and we're gonna talk and we're gonna gauge some of this liquor. Thom, my co-host, he has a music channel. You will easily find all of his links in the link in the description here. So if you're into some rock music, Thom definitely has you covered. But if we're ready, Thom, I mean, I got a little bit poured
Okay.
already.
Well, you got a bigger bottle than I did.
True,
I bought
I
a
did
couple of these
grab
because I
honestly, I couldn't find the
so
shooters. I could not find the shooters, so I just grabbed a bottle. I mean,
yeah. Well, and then I don't have a traditional shot glass because I don't. I guess I
I
didn't
don't either.
think to look to see how much is in here. I have a Coca-Cola like sample cup that we got. The kids and I and Faith got back when we went to some sporting event or whatever, and Coca-Cola was had a
Well,
bunch of new drinks out. But
I'm sure
anyways,
Coca-Cola will love to be. I'm pretty sure whiskey Coke is a very popular drink, so I don't think anyone will be offended. I hope. Well, I hope not. I don't know.
oh boy, I can drink all this in one
Yeah,
go.
and I honestly too. Any idea about the dog person with the snake tail shooting a fireball out of his or her mouth? Do we have any idea what
Uh,
that icon means exactly? Because I have no clue.
I
I've never even seen it.
No, well, I mean, I did look into a few things, but I didn't read too much on it. So like Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey is a liqueur produced by the Sazerac Company, and it's a mixture of Canadian whiskey based with cinnamon flavoring and sweeteners, and it's bottled. It's like a 33% per volume alcohol, so it's not as strong as most. I think the average is what, like 40 to 45.
For most whiskeys, yeah. I will immediately say. I mean, yeah, you can smell that cinnamon. I mean, so I would say, I guess if you hate cinnamon, you may not like this drink, but it's
Well, their slogan is "Tastes like heaven, burns like hell."
well,
I generally have liquor on ice so that it chills it and then mellows it out. But we'll see. I don't know if I can do this all in one go.
um, well,
Are you ready?
bottoms up, buddy. Here we go.
All right,
Cheers.
bottoms up. Cheers.
Huh? It is smooth. There's a
That's not smoother than I thought.
there's a tiny. It's a okay. When we say burn, it's not an alcohol burn. It's a cinnamon burn. I can definitely. It's like
Yeah,
a.
yeah.
It's not an alcohol burn. It's like a cinnamon. I do taste it though. It was smooth going down. They're absolutely right about that. There is a burn, but yeah, it's not like an alcohol burn. It's definitely like a cinnamony churro. I'm gonna go to Taco Bell, get some churro. I mean that.
Can you see my skull ice cube?
Oh, that is pretty amazing. I like it. I don't.
I sculpted it myself. Oh, look, wait, no, I get that mold out of there.
Never mind. Never mind the man behind the curtain. just keep on
So I'm
watching.
gonna pour the rest of this over the rocks.
Well, yeah.
With
However,
the liquor.
however you wanna drink it, I'll just pour a little bit more for
Liquor,
myself.
there's like three ways you can take it. I'm not really a connoisseur of liquors and stuff, but you can have it neat, which means just as is, like we took it just now.
Mm-hmm.
You can have it on the rocks, like I am, or you can. Sometimes people will have a splash of water added.
Hmm.
And I remember one time, my ex brother-in-law told me he was in this cooking program at Le Cordon Bleu, and they had a chef come in, and they sampled some like I think it was scotch, and they had it with a splash of water, and he said the flavor just came out like nothing,
Huh.
and I mean, it was just amazing. He said, and so I went to the. You remember the River Inn, that little bar and grill
Y-
by where I lived?
yes, I do
They
remember it.
they they had some good bartenders, but I remember after I heard that, I went in. I was like, "Can I get some scotch with a splash of water?" And what I think I got was water with a splash of scotch. So I was like, "Is this scotch flavored water?"
But yet they probably charged you for the. Other way around. So.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's really good on ice too. You should
well,
try it.
Tom, mine has actually been sitting in my freezer. I just took it out like maybe not even 30 minutes ago. So mine's pretty ice chilled already. It doesn't. Yeah, you can keep it in the freezer. It does not fully freeze. So yeah, mine's
Was
pretty
there any
chilled
slush
already.
in it?
What's that?
Hmm. Did it freeze at all? Like a little bit of slush or anything in it, or
No, not
nothing?
at all. No, none. I don't see any. I mean, this is like 30 minutes ago out of the freezer. There's no, as you can see, there's no
Wow.
slush. Not really. Um, yeah, no, it's good. I like it. I would say. I mean, I can see why it's so popular. I mean, I definitely understand. I mean, it's like, let's say you want to get more intoxicated than from a beer or a wine, but you don't want to get so intoxicated that it's, you know, over the top where you're, crazy drunk or something. But which, however, I will remind all of our viewers that is very possible tonight or any night. Tom and I may go too far. And you know what? When that night happens, I'm still uploading the video. It's still on like Donkey Kong. All right, so so we've kind of talked. We'll do our let's have a few more sips, and we'll do our measurements at the end more. What I would like to talk about, and I'm gonna go see it tomorrow, and I think Tom you mentioned it earlier. Star Wars:
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith, 20th anniversary edition coming out limited time. You only have, let's see, tonight is Tuesday, so you got Tuesday and tomorrow. I saw on Thursday it was not available, so I think it was last Friday through now.
Oh.
Have you seen it at the theater, Tom? You have.
No. If that's the case,
You have tomorrow.
so did they change anything, or
I don't.
does Darth Vader still say Padme at the end?
Um, I think it's honestly, like I said, I have we bought our tickets. Me and my girlfriend, we bought our tickets for tomorrow, so I can't say for certain. I believe it's just the same movie. I don't think they've done much to it. Um, but let's talk
So
about it.
they didn't
So
make changes. They didn't make any changes like Han shooting first
I don't
or
think
things
so.
like that.
Yeah, they had to change it so Anakin wasn't a domestic abuser anymore. Force choking Padme.
Or
Oh my.
or a fascist. Well, no, that would have been the second movie, the fascist stuff. But
Oh yeah, when they were
if
talking
it
about it.
works, I mean, if fascism works. But
Well,
speaking of
so
Star Wars, I'm gonna also watch. I've also been watching the crap. What's his name? The Andor show. That's
oh,
been
and
pretty
I
good too.
I've not seen it, so let's not ruin anything here.
It's good.
It's
It's
good.
good.
It's
I
worth
like it.
watching.
Uh, Spoiler alert: it's good.
Damn it, you ruined it for me. Now I know it's good, and I have to watch it. um,
So
well, let's go back to Revenge of the Sith. So I saw it. I did see it in the theaters. I was sitting right next to a mutual friend of ours. Let's just call him 1T. We won't go into it because I don't know if he wants us talking about him or not. But I was sitting right next to 1T when I first saw Revenge. We saw it. I was sitting right next to him. We had a few other friends there. Um, Tell me, I mean, I loved it. I enjoyed it more than anything. The lightsaber battle at the end is epic. It's the best. Honestly, in my opinion, I think it's the best one of all of them. I mean, they can, they have it in some of the new shows, the newer one where, Anakin's like, I am not your failure, Obi-Wan. Well, that one's the newer one. I'm talking about, Revenge of the Sith. So tell me how and when you first saw Revenge of the Sith and how you felt while it was happening.
So I liked it. I saw it in the theater. I
Okay.
have no recollection of who I saw it with.
Okay.
Um, but I saw all three of them in the theater. The first one I remember I went to with my godson, who was super excited to see Jar Jar Binks. He might be Jar Jar Binks' only fan, but
Well, let's hope Jar Jar Binks has not started in OnlyFans. Let's
no,
let's hope.
I was trying to avoid that. I said it, and I was like, "Crap, it's out there."
You knew I'd jump on that. No.
Yeah, but anyways, no, he really loved Jar Jar Binks. But anyways, then in the second one, I remember I liked all of them. My personal disappointment with the second one was that it wasn't called the Clone Wars. They
Oh,
called it Attack of the Clones. I was like, I mean, it was like, now that title ranks up there with Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which was a sarcastic movie. But
what was that? What was
uh,
the goodness gracious great balls of fire? What is that?
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah.
But was that wait?
Was that in
Was
Attack
that
of the Tomatoes? I can't.
I?
I
So
was too
I
young
never
for that
actually
movie.
saw the movie. As I was too. I just remember my mom had sent me up to bed, and I knew my two older brothers were downstairs watching that movie, and I was like, at the time, I was scared to death of horror movies, but I was tempted to maybe want to see that one, and now I think maybe I should go back and watch it. But
Sure. Well, jumping
so
jumping back to Revenge of the Sith. So you may not have remembered exactly like when you saw it in the theaters and all of that, but let me ask you this: what was the like emotional impact that it had on you, Tom? Like how did you feel? Like, or even today, like if we went back to watch it right now,
mm,
like what
yeah,
emotions does it evoke in you? Like how would you describe
I,
that?
I think I think I've seen it enough times, like the movie as it was released. I don't know if they made any changes, but I,
Mm,
I mean, now watching it, I might not get. I mean, at home watching it, I don't really respond too much to it. Watching it in the theater is a very different experience. So going back to the theater and seeing it, that that might be uh, that might be quite a different story.
sure.
So I uh, I remember liking it's gotten some like the prequel trilogy's gotten some flack in latter years, but and then people complained about the sequel trilogy. And they're like, well, that redeems the prequel trilogy, right? And there's an argument about that. And but I mean, personally, I liked the prequel trilogy. The sequel trilogy, that's another issue. But I don't know.
We
There's
might
just
have to save that for another whole nother
yeah.
conversation here.
I'm on the fence on some of those issues, but
Well, I mean, if we kind of go over it really quickly, so Phantom Menace. Okay, some of the issues were some people did not like. I mean, I feel okay. Jar Jar Binks. So obviously he was comedic relief to begin with, and there was
mm,
sort of the some people saw like a racial stereotype with like the Jamaican culture and Jar Jar.
oh,
They're kind of like, well, he
okay,
kind of he has the long ear things, which are kind of like dreads. He kind of, did whatever. But the thing was, and then Jar Jar also, like, he made a lot of social, I guess, miscues, like mistakes maybe, that, had to be corrected in that first movie. But then, like, later on movies, I mean, we eventually saw that I believe he was the senator from Naboo
Yeah,
in the final movie, and then he like
yeah,
completely supported Palpatine. He's like,
yeah.
so the character kind of changed a bit. So that was like one of the issues. The other issue was in Phantom Menace, the pod racing scene. A lot of people thought that the 20 to 30 minutes of pod racing was excessive. And then there's the last issue that I can think of, which is the whole midichlorian thing, which made Star Wars science fiction instead of space fantasy. So when they went from, oh, we tested his blood count for midichlorians, and we can totally, it's like that sort of ruined like a lot of, just focusing on Phantom Menace for the moment, on each of those issues, like how do you respond, Tom, or what do you think about those three things? As much or
I've
as little
never
as you
really
want.
liked. I've never really liked the midichlorian thing, and they're still using it. They're calling it the M count now. I think that was introduced in the Bad Batch show, which was a spin off of the Clone Wars. But anyways, going back to New Hope. Obi-Wan sits down with Luke and says it's a mystical force that lives within inside every living being, or is within inside every living being. It binds us, it connects us, and then you introduce the midichlorians or M counts, and now it's like, no, it's just some kind of sci-fi thing. But then, have you seen any of the animated series, Mike?
Not really. I wanted to see
So,
the Clone Wars. I right? That was the or between the where was the one where it was between was it after the Clone Wars but before. Am I right? I'm sorry. I could be completely wrong on this.
so let me think of the animated shows. Okay, so you had
With Anakin.
Clone Wars, which with Anakin,
Yeah.
he was in it,
Yep.
and there was like 6 or 7 seasons of that, which I haven't. I don't think I've seen the last few of those. But then you had the Bad Batch, which happened after Revenge of the Sith. Well, kind of. No, I think it was. I think at the beginning it was concurrent because the Bad Batch was a group of clone troopers whose chips didn't activate properly, except for I think one of them did, and then they had conflict, and they had to try to resolve that. Whatever. Well, like arcing stories over the series, but no. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. I might have had a little too much of this, but
Oh
Star
my,
Wars.
Tom, how dare you?
Well,
Um
what are my thoughts on the? Okay, I remember talking about like the Force. George Lucas wanted to introduce the Wills in Episode 7, I think, or something, and then Disney said no, screw you. Um,
well, they did pay
oh
him
crap! I
certainly
lost
enough
my
for that.
my other computer just went to sleep.
That's all right.
Sorry, I lost my information on the drink. But
That's all right.
anyways, no. So I mean that I think might have been a little more interesting than what Disney actually did. I mean the Force Awakens was a safe reboot, but anyways, back to like the Force and all that kind of stuff. I kind of felt in the Clone Wars there was a series of episodes where I think Yoda goes off on an adventure and meets these beings that are, I think they're part of the Force. And there's
Okay.
three of them. There's like a father, a son, and a daughter.
Hmm.
And I don't remember what the exact relationship was. I think I saw the episode once or twice. And it's been a long time.
Well, almost
But
like a holy trinity,
yeah, I mean,
if you want to
why
make
not?
the if you want to make that jump.
So, but
Well, what do you think about the
what
other
I what I
parts?
what I wanted to say real quick,
Sure.
my long drawn out story. Sorry, because
Sure. Sure.
I've been drinking this thing that burns like hell. But anyways, um, I think they were trying to kind of bring back the mystical elements of the Force with those episodes with Yoda going out, and that's also how he discovered how to ascend. When you die or whatever, become a Force ghost.
What when
And
Qui Gon G taught
yeah,
him about
yeah.
the living force, right? It was called the living force, which
You
is
know, if I remember, you might have reminded me of something because I think Yoda went on that quest because Qui Gon Jinn's, as I say his name,
sorry,
his
I may have
Force
said it wrong.
Ghost. No, well, I might have too. I don't know, but I think his Force Ghost showed up to Yoda and kind of set him on the trail of where he needed to go for that quest.
Well, and then like in Return of the Jedi, at the end they injected Hayden Christensen, the actor, to be Anakin at the end, ultimately redeemed, right? Like
Yeah,
Darth
yeah.
Vader earned his redemption, and he appeared as Hayden Christensen at the end of. Well, if you look at the
I
new,
did. I never liked that
you
change.
didn't like that
I,
change.
I was like, no, I did not. I would have preferred to have them just because that actor. I mean, he did really good in that scene, and I was like, why disrespect him like that?
Yeah, I see your
I
point.
mean,
I mean, I get it. Um, well, then let's go back over some of the other points. Jar Jar Binks for a moment. Is it a racial thing? Is something about Jar Jar? Is he? Are they stereotyping? The Jamaican culture. I'm not to get too deep into. I mean, if we don't want to talk about it, we don't have to. I was just curious. Like you said, your son really enjoyed Jar Jar's character when a lot of people at the
yeah, my
time like
my
disliked
godson.
him.
No, yeah, it was my godson. I
Oh, I'm
was
sorry, your godson.
when
My
that
bad.
movie. It was '99, right? So I
Yep.
was like 19, maybe 20 when it came out. I don't know, but no, yeah, whatever. But anyways, no, I was 19 in '97. Dang it, I'm so bad at math. But
You're
anyways,
you're getting old, Tom.
but I no, I did I never did anything. I didn't have kids until I think I was 28 when Asher was
Hmm.
born. But no, I was 28 when I got married, and he was born like 2 years later. So
Okay. So what?
plus or minus.
So what? I guess even disregarding, just for your opinion, what is your, I guess, ultimate opinion on Jar Jar? Like, what are you thinking about? Like, what when you
I
saw him
have
in fan?
issues
Like,
with
what
him.
did you think?
So initially I had no issues with. So I got to switch my drink. I ran out of my
Well,
Fireball.
that's all right. I had to refill.
But no, anyways, my thoughts about Jar Jar. I mean, so one of the things that I've seen in like other reviews and read about, like the original trilogy was George Lucas had this message or whatever he wanted to share, et cetera, or whatever. And then, but he also knew to add elements of action and adventure and fun stuff that the whole family would enjoy, like little kids, whatever. So if that was his intentions, Jar Jar Binks, I think, kind of in that way maybe makes sense because he was a fun character for the kids to connect to.
And he was comedic. Like he was a
Yeah.
comical kind of character who kind of
Mm-hmm.
bumbling. Like he stuck out his
And
tongue to grab the food, and Qui Gon
yeah,
snapped his tongue
and
because he was out of
I
order,
just
I
thought of
guess.
this. I just thought of this. Like some people like comment on. I think our C3PO and their interactions with the other characters like Chewbacca or whatever, or getting blown up and Chewbacca having to put him C3PO back together, whatever. But anyways, they some people say that they were kind of the comedic thing
Sure.
for that movie. But you'll fast forward to the sequel trilogy with Jar Jar. He was that comedic character, whatever. I think he was over. He might have been a little bit too overboard on the comedy side compared to like C-3PO and R2-D2. Well, they
Sure.
were kind of the comic. Pardon me. I think they were kind of like the classic comedic duo, like Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello, where you have the straight man and the oh crap, I gotta say it. You have the straight man and the gay man. I'm
Well,
sorry.
yeah,
You have the straight
C3PO,
man and the funny man.
yeah, C3PO kept having his little gaffes, and R2 was
Yeah,
always like, "Oh, R2, I don't believe that we could be walking down this path right now. Oh my, R2, R2, I think we are. R2, what are you
my
doing?"
my spikes are gonna rust.
I mean, I can't quote everything, but I mean, all right, let's jump to the final thing really quick here. The pod race. Too long? What's your opinion? Pod race? What do you think about that pod race of
When
30
I
minutes or whatever it was?
when anytime I've watched the Phantom Menace, I never really felt that way. I was like, I guess, now that I've been, watching a lot more like review type shows and stuff like that, maybe they could have trimmed it down a little bit. But god dang it, they got Warwick Davis for a cameo there. Mike, you can't cut
I
that.
mean, he's Willow. Shit, Warwick Davis, he's Willow, and he's yeah,
Willow, R.I.P. Val Kilmer.
yeah, I know, yeah.
I
R.I.P.
don't
Val
like watching
Kilmer.
stuff. I'm not Catholic,
Well,
but
Mad Mardigan will always remember as well that and Doc Holliday and a lot of other characters. Batman. I
the
mean,
Ghost in the Darkness.
yeah, Ghost in the Dark. I mean, yeah, he played so many. Yeah, Val Kilmer is
There's this.
definitely a loss.
What was that one character? There's this a very obscure character that he played in a movie once. Batman. I think his name was Batman.
Yeah, when he was Batman, the obscure Batman. Um, all right, let's jump ahead. You know, I'm gonna actually kind of skip over. So, Attack of the Clones. The only, you know, that it was a transition movie. Like they had some mysteries. You know, we had Obi-Wan having to dig through the Jedi archives and then go to like the diner, some weird like 50s style diner with this alien with like 10 arms, and he's like,
I hate it.
and
Yeah.
and then after that he finally makes it to the clone, you know, the where the clones people, I don't even remember,
Yeah.
what are they called? I can't even
I
remember.
can't remember.
Shit.
I've
I know we're
seen
like the
movies
worst
like that.
Star
I
Wars
don't know
reviewers.
this. Yeah.
Kamiko or something or
Camino.
Camino,
Camino, I think, is the
Camino.
name of the planet. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you know they have the little. He goes in. He sees that you know dude kept one as his son, and then
Jango Fett.
yeah, Jango Fett, and then he, you know, they have the little battle outside of it. He puts a little cloaker, or not cloaker. He puts a little detector,
Tracker.
tracker. That's it, tracker. Puts a tracker. They go to the planet of all the insect people. The insect people are having these big gladiator tournaments, and they're doing all kinds of shit. You got the big battle at the end, and it's all wonderful. You know, there's not a lot of questions about that movie. You know, honestly, like most of that movie, I feel worked. I will question some of the romance scenes were a little, I guess I would say over the top. Like when you know, when Anakin and Padme are like on their back on Naboo. They're back on Naboo, and they're on like they have like the little romantic scenes, and it's kind of corny. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's okay. Don't get me wrong. It's okay, especially for the time.
But it's good character development because we find out that Anakin does not like sand.
Well, yes, he goes and murders all the sand people that had in turn murdered his mother. Well, kept her
Yeah,
kidnapped
but
until she.
sand also gets everywhere.
Well, yes, he hates
More
it.
important than his mother's murder, it gets everywhere.
It
That's
gets
the
everywhere.
problem with sand.
He hates it. Yes, definitely. Um, so not a lot of questions about that movie. I mean, you could say, well, the whole scene with him and the Sand People is kind of controversial, but honestly, with like his fall to the dark side, it's not that controversial. I mean, really, it kind of fits into place. It's not. It's like his first, like, I mean, okay, so it's mass murder. I mean, he kills even the women and the children, but no one really has an emotional investment in the Sand People. There is no main character that is a Sand person. You know what I mean? Like, there is no main character that can let you like relate to the Sand People. They're animals. Whatever. They're not
Who in
people.
the Star Wars universe? What hero in the Star Wars universe hasn't murdered
Murdered.
a whole Sand People village?
Well,
I mean, you've got Attack of the Clones with the Anakin. Then you have the Book of Boba Fett. I mean, he was living with them and got them murdered. Uh, but they weren't necessarily heroes. They were the people that were like trafficking spice. What are they called? The something guild. I can't remember.
yeah,
But
Spacers Guild or something. I don't remember. Yeah.
now I
Um,
don't know if you saw the show or not. But
okay, so
no,
so let's dance over Attack of the Clones because outside of like, well, the diner scene maybe needs to be talked about, but I don't know. It's not. It's kind of weird. It's like a 50s style diner, and Obi-Wan can't figure shit out, and he walks into this diner, and the alien there's like scrubbing the. Uh, as if it makes like almost no sense in this space age, not science fiction, but space fantasy, kind of setting. And he's just like scrubbing the. I'm not exactly sure where that scene came from. It felt very out of place, I would say.
you know what? You know what, Mike?
Hmm.
So Star Wars, the movies were set in a galaxy a long, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away,
Sure.
right? So maybe that 50s diner, there was a race of aliens that populated our galaxy, and because of genetic memory, we now build diners that look like that.
Except we stopped like 50 years ago.
So have you been to a Denny's lately? The
I
Denny's here are all like 50 style
I
diners.
have I have not. What is it?
There's one up in Brainerd, Minnesota
Is,
that the
is it
50
what is it
style
called?
thing.
Moon over my hammy? Is that one of the moon over my
I don't
hammy? Is
know.
that one of them? I don't remember. I'm
I
just
don't
trying to
know.
remember here. I could be wrong. Moon over my
Okay,
hammy.
I'm sorry. I interrupted you and brought us out of the Star Wars conversation. We can go back.
All right. So to introduce us, yet not, because it's kind of at the end. Thom, we have a little charade, a little charade to go through. Are you ready for such a thing?
But charades, isn't that the one where you kind of mock or pantomime things?
Well,
Not
we're
pantomime.
about to pantomime one of the last scenes in Revenge of the Sith. Are you prepared? Because I will be Anakin. You'll be Obi-Wan.
Mhm.
You ready to do it?
I,
I will start it,
I,
but when you're ready,
you know,
let's do it.
wish me luck reading. I'm a little cross-eyed here.
You don't.
All right,
It'll
let's
all.
go. Are you ready?
All right, I'm
Go.
ready. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. You turned her against me.
You have done that yourself.
You will not take her from me.
Your anger, your lust for power, you've already done that. You won't be. You have allowed this darkness to twist your mind until now. Until now, you've become the very thing you've sworn to destroy.
Don't lecture me, Obi-Wan. I see through the lies of the Jedi. I do not fear the dark side as you do. I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire.
Your new empire?
Don't make me kill you.
Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy.
Then if you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must.
You will try. There we go.
All right. Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
we got it out of the way. All right, I'm sure some people
What?
will enjoy our little scene
I need
there.
some water after that.
Well, I mean, not a whole lot else to say. I mean, I'll just say, Revenge of the Sith, definitely one of my favorites. Um,
Mhm.
I mean, are there some issues with it? Sure. Again, we don't have to cover like every little thing. I will say this though. Let's hop back. So let's exit out of Revenge of the Sith for a second. We gotta give a rating. 5. Remember, Mike's Apartments ratings are 5 absolute ambrosia, 0 absolute shit. What do you think, Tom? How would you
I'm
rate?
buying more. I'm gonna buy more.
Okay,
Probably around a 4.5.
4.5. Okay,
Uh, I mean, plus or minus. I don't know. It would. Excuse me. What was the ale, the Belgian ale thing that we drank? I
yep.
gave that. I gave that a 4, right? Didn't
A
I?
Pale Moon.
Uh,
I don't remember the ratings to be honest with you, but
I don't remember either. I just remember it was pretty drinkable. And excuse me, now I've got the hiccups. This is a lot more appealing to me than that was. So
okay,
I'd have to say, 4.5. It's not. Maybe it's not the best thing that I think I've ever had, but part of that might also be because like due to pairing, how like having a certain wine with a steak.
sure.
Maybe I had something really good with that drink. I don't remember, but
Well, in my opinion, I kind of agree with the popular opinion, which is, if you want something a bit stronger than a wine or a beer, this is definitely a good choice. But at the same time, you
mhm.
don't want to go so far into oblivion here with a. You
Yeah,
don't want to get completely messed up, right? Like you want to have a few
you
drinks,
have
have
to
some
be a lot more
laughs, but
careful with. Yeah, if you're going from wine to this, that's quite a jump. That's more. That's like close to triple the alcohol volume, right? Because wine is what 12 to 13% on average, and this is what did we say it was like 33?
it's something.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, I could look again. It's
Okay.
jeez, it's
On my other computer screen, which is locked right now, so,
yeah. I
but
mean,
I don't want to.
that's about right. I mean, it's less than most whiskeys, but it's not. But it's definitely stronger than wine or beer for the most part. I would just say, it's a good,
Yeah.
it's a smooth drink. You want like a nice experience. You don't want to get too hammered, but at the same time, you want to have more fun. So maybe like it's a Friday or Saturday night, you're out with your friends. This is definitely like the drink to have. If it's a weekday, you may not want to. If you want something a little lighter, you may not want this, but I mean, the thing is this: you can always up the amount, right? Like if you wanna like get messed up, you can always just have more, which is you could say that about any drink, really, but
Yeah.
that goes.
No, I will. I do want to. One complaint. They said it tastes like heaven and burns like hell. I didn't think it burned like hell. I've had burned like hell drinks. It,
It was, yeah, like I said on that initial taste, and I've had a couple since then, and I didn't sense that about it later on. But I will say, I think that initial burn is just the cinnamon. I don't think it has a lot to do with the alcohol. I think, like, just that initial cinnamon burst at the end. And I wouldn't, I agree with you, though. It's not burn like hell. It's like a little tiny burn that most people are not going to even notice, like, for the most part, right? Like,
marketing that got a good bonus for coming up with that, and then got fired when it didn't burn like hell.
All right. Well, I think we're pretty close here to the end. Any final thoughts, Tom,
Batteries are
or
dying.
what's that?
What's that?
Any final
Oh, no.
thoughts or
Yeah, no, I was just saying I had to take out one of my earbuds because it died, and the
oh?
other one is probably not far behind. But no, I liked it. It's usually when I drink liquor, I kind of like to mix it up. Mix things together.
Hmm.
Um, but a number of years ago, I found spiced rum at Costco. As a Costco brand, is Kirkland brand rum. It was rum. It was a spiced rum, and it had like a hint of maple, like an
Hmm.
aftertaste, or even maybe a little. And it wasn't like sweet, like syrup. It was just like kind of that maple, whatever. And I used to like to drink that on its own on the rocks or whatever. Yeah, and this is one of those kind of drink or liquors that I think I could do that with. There are a few that I really don't like to drink on their own, like vodka or whatever. But I like to add some sweetness and stuff like that. But yeah, this was also sweet. Did we say that it was sweet?
It's
I don't remember.
it's yeah, no, it's like they said, it goes down smooth. I don't know if it's sweet necessarily, but it goes down smooth. But like I said, that it's a little bit of cinnamon burn. It's not. I mean, honestly, it's not an alcohol burn. I mean, obviously, we've had way more alcoholic substances than this before, but
All right.
well,
Well,
all right,
yeah,
Tom. Yeah,
the
like we said.
no, we already did that. No, yeah, that we should have.
All right, so Tom's channel will be in the description as always. If you guys have anything you want to suggest to us, we are open to whatever. Send us input. Send us what you want to hear. Whatever you want. We're kind of running long on this session, but that's fine. We've
Longer
had a
than I
lot to
thought we
talk
would.
about.
We did.
We've
Yeah,
had a
I
lot to
think
talk about.
it was a lot of fun. I appreciated it. So
But
thanks, Mike.
but all right. Cheers, Tom. We'll be on again soon.
Cheers.
Cheers. Good night, everyone.